So the reason why you can't find a home in Phoenix Metro with the large yard or the large lot is probably because you're looking at the wrong type of home or the wrong location. Okay, so where are the right houses or the right locations? I'm gonna show you. Now, one thing to note is there's definitely a huge difference between acreage, like having an acre lot, or having a large yard, where you can have plenty of room for a pool or plenty of room for your kids to play. And we're gonna break apart that further. But one thing I do notice with a lot of clients, particularly people that either recently moved here in the past handful of years or that are relocating to Arizona, is that they often aren't familiar with kind of the natural landscape of homes in Phoenix Metro. One thing to note in Phoenix Metro is most of our lots are under 8,000 square feet. So they aren't terribly big. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't big lots out there. It's not Texas. It's not the Midwest. They're just few and far in between. Now, as realtors, we're guilty throwing out a lot of square footage numbers. And a lot of people are like, I have no idea what that even looks like. What is a 8,000 square foot lot even like? Let me show you. Okay, so let's take a peek at this house in Gilbert, Arizona. So this one is 7,400 square feet. So we can see here we have a covered patio. There's a little green space. We have the pool over here. So it's not huge, but there's definitely some room outside there. And something to keep in mind too is this is a single level home. So that's of course going to take a little bit more space of your lot. If you do have a 2-story home, on a 7,400 square lot, it could give you a slightly larger backyard. Okay, so that's the average size lot, but you want something bigger. So where are you gonna look? If we look at the map here, we can see all these green dots are the current active listings in the Phoenix metro area. So it's a little bit under 18,000 homes that are for sale. Now, what I'm gonna do is actually show you the homes with an acre lot first. We're gonna talk about larger lots that are, not quite an acre in a little bit here, but let's first look at the acre lot. All right, so we have all the homes for sale. You can see about 1 in 10 homes for sale actually have an acre lot. So if we come in here, we can definitely see this area right here. That is Paradise Valley. And if you aren't familiar with Paradise Valley, it is definitely the most expensive area. It's the highest median sales price in the Phoenix metro market. So those are definitely multi-million-dollar properties. And then there's also quite a bit when you get to North Scottsdale, up here, Cave Creek. There's going to be quite a bit of acre lots. Now, the East Valley, which is the area I primarily serve, you can see, Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, and Gilbert. They're not a terrible amount. Now, we do see some down towards Santan area down here, and a few over in the Queen Creek, Chandler, Gilbert border down that way. And then there's also some in Apache Junction as well. So at a quick glance, we can see 1 in 10 homes actually do have an acre lot. So that might seem like a lot, but something I really do want to highlight is many of these properties are actually in the 7-figure range. So they're $1 million properties, but there still are a handful that are less than $1 million. And let me show you. So if you look at the map right here, we can see these are all the properties that are under $1 million. And, it definitely, we're definitely down to very few properties. And you can see, close to the center of Phoenix, there's really not much available with the exception of South Mountain and Lavine down this area. But other words, you're really going to have to go onto the peripheral of the city. You're definitely getting outside of central Phoenix, but maybe you don't need the acre lot. Maybe you just want the large lot. You want the large yard. So where are you going to go for that? Well, let's take a peek, and we're going to talk about a large yard being anything over 10,000 square feet. Okay, so we have all the houses for sale. These are all the homes or single family homes for sale in the Phoenix metro market. And now I'm just going to add the parameter for only large lots above 10,000 square feet. Now, we definitely have a lot of options for lots that are over 10,000 square feet, but something to keep in mind, this usually does come with a price tag. It's going to be a little bit more expensive because, at the end of the day, a lot of people do want these larger lots. And if it's in a great location and it's a good home, it's going to go for a higher price. Now, the median sales price in Phoenix Metro right now is about $455,000. So let's go ahead and and see what's available close to that median sales price in Phoenix. So right here, I have it set to the homes that are priced between $400,000 and $500,000. So if we zoom in right here, you can see there's not a lot to choose from, but if you go up towards Sun City West, Surprise area, you're gonna find a handful of more larger lots at that price point. Now, something to keep in mind too, a lot of retirement communities up in this area as well. Now, if we zoom out, we can see there's, a handful in the Glendale area, some in North Phoenix. However, if we look a little bit closer, like Scottsdale area, not really finding anything with a larger lot in that region. Now, there's a few over in Mesa, right around here, but same thing with Gilbert and Chandler, and even Queen Creek. There's just really not anything there. You're looking at a higher price point for that larger lot. Now, Apache Junction, I will say this, if you're interested in a manufactured home on a larger lot, you definitely will have more options closer to that price point in this specific area of town. However, if your budget's a little bit higher, let's say closer to the $700,000-$800,000 range, that definitely opens up the door to a lot more possibilities. So this right here, we're looking, I set it to the parameter of homes under $800,000, and you can see, there's quite a bit more options. Now in Scottsdale, that's still going to be a little bit tricky. This is Scottsdale right here. There's 2 lots currently in Scottsdale, and I can guess, we'll click on it here, but it's most likely something that needs a little bit of work for a larger lot in this area. So you can see, it's not the sexiest house. It's not the most modern house, but it does come with a lot. Now, other areas where you might have more luck, you do see some larger lots intermittently in the Tempe area. In Mesa, of course, you're definitely going to have options for larger lots. Now, when you get down to Chandler and Gilbert, and this is an area where I find a lot of people are looking for the larger lots. Now, the thing is, Gilbert and Chandler, they're just very competitive markets right now. There are 2 hottest markets in the Phoenix metro area. So that is one thing to consider. And in Chandler, you can see there are some options. So we can see this home right here. We have a larger lot. This is in Chandler. It's just under $800,000. It's $795,000, but it's a pretty good size lot. Now in Gilbert, it's going to be a little trickier to find a larger lot just because there aren't quite as many of them just at baseline. But there's, it's an expensive and it's a competitive market. So you're looking closer to that $1 million range. Not that you can't find the property. And if you're open to finding a property that maybe needs a little TLC, a little paint, maybe new floors, that's for sure going to open up the doors and the price point for a large lot. Now, another question I get frequently is, well, if I'm willing to move further outside of town, like Queen Creek or Santan on the East Valley side, I should in theory be able to have a little bit easier time finding a bigger lot. And I will say in Queen Creek, particularly that 85142 zip code, it is getting pretty expensive in that area. It's not necessarily a competitive market, but it's hard to find a large lot. There's really just not that many out there. Now, initially when I was making this video, I was a little hesitant on sharing some of this information because I don't want people to feel discouraged if they want the larger lot. But I also do want to be as transparent as possible because, it's just a different landscape here than it is in other parts of the United States. And, it's not necessarily, when we're looking at land, it's not necessarily the cheapest place. But if you're willing to compromise on location or maybe a home that needs a little TLC, like I was talking about a minute ago, it's definitely going to open up the doors. And, there's always that unicorn property out there too that pops up on the market. So if you're patient as well, you might just find that dream lot or that dream yard. Now, if you would like to start a customized home search just to see what's out there and if there's anything that meets your needs, in the description, I have my phone number and email. Reach out. Thank you so much for your time and have a fantastic day.